Hey everyone, welcome to Keeping Up with College Sports, brought to you by Rights of Saturday. This is our To New Heights segment. And if you're wondering how deep college gymnastics is right now, this weekend was absolutely insane. It gave us SEC chaos. We had a Stegman revival and a perfect 10 that just broke the internet. And it is just such a good gymnastics season already. Molly, how was your thing for this weekend?
Um, it's funny. I'm not sick this week, so I'm happy I can actually talk about college gymnastics without being so foggy brained. Um, what a good weekend. I think I love that we've expanded the show. I just want to start off because I think I tried to illustrate this last week, but I was like really sick and it was, 7 in the morning. Um, I personally think that I'm excited that we expanded this show just because now we get to talk about teams like UCLA, Carolina, NC Wolfpack. You know what I'm saying? I'm excited because we've had all these huge rivalries that we didn't really cover last year because we were so focused on the SEC. Let's talk about UCLA first because they have their golden star favorite middle child here, Jordan Childs, and she obviously is an Olympic athlete. Like we'll start there. Like how you're already winning. Like we really UCLA. Like you have an amazing Olympic athlete. She scored a perfect 10 on vault this week. Also scored huge on literally everything she does. Like there's not an event that she's making mistakes on. This is a girl that gets on the beam and she's like, crowd noise, screw it. Like I don't know if you've ever been to UCLA meet. They're loud. Like it is a loud arena. And I think being on a 4-inch apparatus like balance beam, being able to like block out your teammates, your coaches, the arena, I'm thoroughly impressed by Jordan Childs. I don't know about you, Georgia, but
I love her. Obviously, I am not as knowledgeable in gymnastics as you are. So when it comes to like Olympic athletes, obviously, I feel like they're a little bit more well known. So Jordan's definitely someone that I just think is an awesome athlete. But yeah, to walk in there and just like immediately score a perfect 10 on vault was insane. And I think that just really set the tone for UCLA the rest of the meet. Um, Ashley Sullivan also had her career high of 9.9 on vault. So yeah, they just completely just took over that meet and they're just an impressive team to watch. So like you said, it is exciting we get to cover them this season.
I think it's really exciting. I mean, they beat Nebraska. They're one of the top 10 teams in the nation. It's the best. I'm enjoying their floor routines. They have probably one of the best choreographers in college gymnastics. So I'm excited to be able to get to watch and get to talk about their floor routines. And who knows, maybe I will pop into a meet myself.
That would be very exciting. But yeah, their floor routines, I think most people like that's one of the most exciting parts of gymnastics is getting to see a floor routine. They're just fun. They're sassy. We love a good sassy moment. And so yeah, their floor, they had career highs just everywhere. Floor, beam, vault, name it. They probably did it. But I think that they're just gonna have like I feel like a lot of teams, will come out and be really good at the beginning of the season. I just feel like this is a momentum builder. They're just continue to get better and like in March and April, they're gonna look incredible.
Yeah, we're gonna start a GoFundMe for Georgia to be able to come to a UCLA meet soon if anyone wants
Yeah.
to fund our fundraiser.
And maybe learn how to do a cartwheel.
We will go to adult gymnastics. We're gonna start a fundraiser, GoFundMe for you, just because I want to teach you to do a cartwheel and I'll take you to a UCLA meet. Um,
Each poor girl that's never flipped how to do a cartwheel.
yeah, the center of gravity is gonna be great. It's gonna be a lesson.
People give GoFundMes to the dumbest things. So I wouldn't be surprised if we raise money to
You
for you
know,
to learn how to do a flip.
I recall one time doing beach yoga with you in Miami, Florida, and I was doing a downward dog and my feet were flat because I'm a little bit flexible from being, broken in half as a gymnast. And you looked at me upside down and you said, "How are your feet flat?" And you were like mad about it. Like you were like aggravated that you couldn't do. And it was funny because I was like, this is supposed to be relaxing. Like we're supposed to be like stretching and she was just
I'm
fighting the
too competitive. And the competitiveness makes me not do things, especially if I'm not good at things. Like, if I don't feel like I'm the best, I don't wanna do it. So, like,
That's
even doing yoga, I'm like, "Wait, you're better than me? I'm done."
no, she was so pissed. She was like, she upside down was looking at me and she's like, "Wait, how are your feet flat?" And I was like, "Just," and I didn't know how to like get this out. I was like, "Just put your feet flat." Like I don't how what do you mean how are my feet flat? Just like put your feet down. And she was like, "I can't." Like I literally like and she was getting so frustrated. So I just imagine teaching you to do a cartwheel being very fun.
It will be entertaining for sure, yeah.
We'll film the whole thing. It'll be great.
Yeah.
GoFundMe will be linked below.
I
Um,
mean, my girls, though, my Alabama girls, they almost beat Florida this weekend, so that was very exciting for me. But, Florida still came out on top, but I'm holding on to almost.
Florida being number 1 this year is kinda crazy for me because last year, it was obviously Oklahoma and LSU. They were constantly fighting for the top 2, and Florida always fell in top 5. I'm really shocked at this. I kinda think what bothers me about Florida last year, they were top 2 at one point. They just seem to kinda choke, like, halfway through the season, they did that last year. I remember that time I almost did voodoo on accident?
Yeah.
Or I did do it on accident, I guess. I didn't almost, I did. I I get nervous watching these girls compete because 'cause I'm like, they look really strong right now, but, like, give them, like, 4 weeks. We'll see where they're at in the next month.
Yeah.
Um, Obviously, super tight win, 197.425 to 197, 2.75. Guys, that's, like, 2 unpointed toes. I mean, like, we're talking, like, down to the pinky toe close of a meet. Once again, being that close with Alabama. Alabama was not great last year. Um, we're looking at 2 teams that have kind of come back and rebuilt their program, which I'm really happy for them. But watching them be so close to the number 4 team was very exhilarating for me. I'm not a Bama fan and I'm not a Florida fan, but I love watching both of these teams. I think Florida is such a fun team to watch on balance beam in particular, which is where I did my voodoo last year. So maybe
And that's where they took over the meet, vault was messy, they came back on bars, but beam definitely was, like, the deciding factor for this meet. And
But I mean, Georgia, your Alabama freshman Azaraya was had such a good weekend that she was named the SEC Gymnast of the Week, which obviously we're not covering just SEC, but we always would shout them out last season because like that's huge to be able and this early on, especially considering she's a freshman, never been in a college competition before until a week ago. Like that's nuts.
yeah, and to be the all-around winner against people like Selena Harris Miranda is awesome because obviously we're big Selena fans. But yeah, it definitely she to be the all-around winner and the SEC Gymnast of the Week is awesome. I'm really proud of my girls. I'm hoping that I can like line it up where I can go to a meet in Tuscaloosa and a basketball game the same weekend. So I'm trying to figure out when that's going to be. But yeah, I think it was just impressive. Definitely like looking ahead, I think Alabama's going to have a really good season this year.
Absolutely. I do want to mention and shout out this last meet that we're going to cover really quick because it was probably the best meet to watch all weekend. We always like to save the best for last. The biggest upset, Georgia beating LSU. Number 8 Georgia. Let's remember. Georgia has not had a fantastic gymnastics program in probably the last 4 years. Number 8 Georgia beating LSU, winning 197.20 to 196.850. That is a big enough difference. That means we had some falls, we had some people tumbling out of bounds. That means maybe somebody didn't even complete their skill set on an apparatus. I love watching an upset just because I love an underdog story. Like even watching Indiana win this weekend in the college football playoffs or championship, I was like, yeah, like I love to see it. Go Georgia Bulldogs on that one. Like, good for them.
You definitely saw that there was a lot of confidence, and they definitely had more like, there's never, I feel like, been a lack of confidence at Georgia. The girls just come off as confident, but they've lacked consistency, but they did not lack they haven't this season so far. This is another ranked team that they beat. They beat Ohio State as well. So to beat LSU, and then next they have Oklahoma. Like, they've had a gauntlet. Like,
Yeah.
it's just been a stacked season against them.
This is the first time they've beat LSU in 10 years, like since 2016. I think being able to come back a decade later, like being like, gotcha, like you thought, like LSU probably went into that meet thinking like, no big deal. Number 8 Georgia, who cares? Like we'll be fine. And I like to see people knocked off a pedestal a little. I like to see people be humbled in life. I myself get humbled daily. So,
Yeah, I live humbled. But I mean, bars were so impressive. I love bars. Lily Smith had a 9.950 to tie for first, her season high, and then senior Jeffrey Scott had a season high of 9.9, tied for second. So they just have really clean bars. They were really impressive. Lily Smith, I think, is their best, would it be player? Is that what you call it?
competitor, gymnast.
Competitor? Yeah, so I think Lily Smith is the best on Georgia's gymnastics team. I think she's just really impressive all around, and I think it was just really fun up in Athens, and I'm like, "I need to get up there." It's only an hour away,
Yeah.
um, and go to a meet, especially since they're just on this momentum and building, and so I think it'd be really fun.
Yeah, and I think I like this because it is so early on in the season. We're only a few weeks in. I love seeing this because it really shakes up those pre-seed standings. Like we went into this thinking Oklahoma, LSU, Florida, yada yada yada. I'm excited to see them compete against Oklahoma next week. Like they've had, like you just said, a stacked schedule of like really hard, really talented competitors. And I think this next week is going to kind of show really that the rankings don't mean anything. Like we talked a lot about this during football. Like rankings mean nothing. Look at the top 3 ranked teams in football this year per like preseason. Were they in the championship?
Yeah, and then as soon as yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think there's just so many good athletes out there right now that it's just, and everyone is consistent around the board. Like, there's not any schools that, like, can stack their roster like they used to football or gymnastics. Like, people are going everywhere. So every single week is just madness. And I mean, Georgia definitely proved that they belong up there in that top 10. And their Stegman is becoming a home advantage again. So that's really good for them.
All right, guys, we love you very much. We're excited to talk all things gymnastics next week. Let us know in the comments what you think about in the upcoming weeks, the pre-seeds, the standings, the underdogs, the humbleness. Let us know in the comments what you think below. Like, subscribe, and follow, and we'll see you next week.